Hello, welcome to another video in the Scouring demo. Today's game is going to be 1 versus 1, where I'm going to be basically narrating the game. And it's going to be Dinci versus Almon of Assess. This is a live game, so might be a little more fun. Yes, Almonov. Got a sawmill, logging camp. But instead of making some archers, he does the fast tier 2 for maybe some munchers or other upgrades, maybe. And over here, Dinci is doing the archer build. And if you get all the archers to high levels here, then they're going to be very good and useful during your later push or attacks. Here we see Almana was making a forge. Potentially maybe trying to get a muncher cave, and then maybe try to get a tier 3 town hall to maybe get a rage really fast and do like a timing angry muncher push. I guess he's just making a few archers. Maybe potentially saving up for Muncher Cave, I think. Dinci's just making your fast archers and just making a lot of peasants. Just adding more farms. There you go. We can see Almana was making a muncher cave. So I think he is probably going to be trying to get the tier 3 real fast. Interesting. So Dinci upgrades his town hall to tier 2. I'm not sure what he's going to be going for. Maybe archer damage, maybe smithy to get some shielded swordsmen to maybe help out his archers, or maybe just go for cavaliers. But I guess both the players don't feel like it's a good idea to make a second town hall. Maybe they're going to get rushed. I'm not really sure, but that's what I would do. I'll probably get a second base right away. And then you will just get so much more economy so fast that you can just pretty much just spam out a lot of units onto a field. I guess Dinci is tired of sitting in his base and just farming these wolves for some XP. It's going to be moving out on a map to potentially gain some ground near these outposts. They're going to be very useful if you can take to capture them pretty much, so that you're able to have a good defensive position. Yeah, we can see here Dinci's getting the tag damage upgrade. Just gonna make his archers very powerful at just sniping level 1 units. And that is pretty much what Almana was making, all the munchers. But they are getting some XP by punching these wolves, so they might not die as fast when they're level 2, when being shot out by a group of archers here. But maybe he's not going to be in time with the amount of munchers he needs. And Dinci might kill a good amount of munchers. I guess the skeletons are punching him away a little bit. I guess think he made a stables, maybe say get some cavaliers. But I guess he's a little focused on controlling these archers here. And now he might be attacking the Amativ player. And Amativ might be too slow to realize. We might lose some workers, some archers, so we're going to be seeing what's going to happen in here. So Amativ has 3 level 2 archers, which are very powerful. And there it is. The archers start fighting. But just like I said before, they are very good at sniping level 1 munchers. They basically just melt away. But I guess in the end, Amativ did have numbers, or a good amount of muncher numbers, so I was able to eventually beat up the small archer force. And pretty much how this matchup goes is that the person who gets the higher level munchers or cavaliers first is the one that's going to be winning. So at the moment, I guess I would put Amativ in a lead, but I guess we're going to have to see how well he's going to be able to control his munchers with that potential rage he's going to be getting after this tier 3 finishes. I guess Dinci is just spamming more workers. He has 2 barracks now. Amativ only has 1 barracks. But both of these players are only on 1 base, so they're not really, I guess, macro intensive. It looks like Dinci is just trying to maybe win the game right away. He's just trying to send all his units across the map, but all these units are level 1 pretty much. And they're just going to get destroyed by these higher level munchers. But it's also based upon how well the players micro their units. So Amativ already has a level 3 muncher, or 2 of them that are level 3. These are like very powerful. And the 1 level 3 muncher is like 4 level 1 cavaliers, so you can clearly see that purple should be winning here, but I guess he's not really as good at controlling his units. So he's somewhat losing some munchers needlessly here. And here we see Amativ getting the altar to potentially get the rage. We can see he doesn't have really that many workers mining. And he's not really producing more, so he's just trying to maybe save up to just research the rage right away. But if you get the rage, you're not going to be able to win the game. You're just going to be able to win all the battles on the field. Here's a little skirmish. You can see Dinci is actually microing his units away. I guess maybe trying to get some XP from fighting his units a little bit. Yeah, we can see that Amativ has higher levels, which means he's just going to be munching these cavaliers away, but yes, Dinci is very effectively just annoying Almanov, taking away his attention. And in the meantime, he's getting a second base. He's already producing auto workers. You can see he has maybe 10 to 15 workers here. And in comparison, I guess I might have also made auto workers. But I guess, Dinci has a little bit more economy because he can produce 2 workers at a time, potentially. And now he finally starts to try to get that tier 3 to maybe get the cure ability, so his cavaliers are more useful out in the field. And here, like I mentioned before, getting control of an outpost is a good way to hold a very good choke point or position here, which makes sure that your enemy can't really run past here, just because they're going to be getting shot by all these archers. It's funny, I guess this archer leveled up by just killing this footman forever, or swordsman. I'm not sure what these peasants are doing here. Maybe he's thinking of double expanding. But in the meantime, Dinci tries to look what's going on here. And he finds out that Almanov has the rage ability. And if he tries to even fight at all, he's just gonna melt away. So he does the right decision by running away, because you can't really fight this at the moment. Because you're gonna need a lot more archers. And potentially the cure ability. You can see here, Amado is making a second barracks to potentially mass produce more munchers, which could be helpful if they are, I guess, hoarding all the gold, not using it right away. So they might have all the gold in their, I guess, bank or whatever you call it. And there you go, Dinci is already researching the cure ability. Should be very helpful when fighting these munchers. Because how you're supposed to fight munchers is you need all the cavaliers to hold the line. And pretty much have a good amount of archers to just deal the DPS to the munchers. And I guess Albanov is maybe not as good as Dinci at defending his base. I guess he's not using this farm at the moment. Maybe didn't see it. And I guess he didn't really spread out his units well to get all the XP from these skeletons. Looks like Dinci doesn't really have any trouble with skeletons. He has a lot of vision. I guess Dinci has mostly level 1 cavaliers and maybe 2 level 2 cavaliers. And then Almanov has 3 level 3 cavaliers. I mean, munchers. And then 1 over 2 muncher. And then the rest are over 1. So at the moment, Almanov is leading in the XP category. He has high level units, so in a basic direct fight, Almanov should be the one winning. But as we can see, Almanov is only on 1 base. It's already been almost 17 minutes. And if you made a second base a bit earlier, then you would have had way more munchers and other units potentially by now. I guess that's what Dinci's doing. Maybe trying to win by just spamming his enemy with a lot of units. So he doesn't really need to micro as much, because he can just throw a big force towards the enemy. And I guess now it's about finding out if Almanov is going to get stuck on these outposts, or if he's going to be able to fight around them or past them to actually destroy the army of Dinci instead of being distracted by Dinci's micro and his archers here. And I'm not really sure what's the plan of Almanov, but it looks like he's probably getting a potion stash to potentially get all the potions for his munchers. Maybe just move out with just pure muncher army, trying to brute force his way to victory, I think. And then I guess Dinci is trying to make all the cavaliers to maybe play Huddle defensively. Oh, I guess he did buy all the potions for his cavaliers, but not all of them. Well, I guess Almanov is finally be able to somewhat deal with these archers by using his cannons. But he probably should have surrounded this so Dinci couldn't micro his archers out of a tower. But I guess he also forgot he has archers here. He could have sent them here to finish off these few archers, because it's going to take a very long time for him to kill them by just using 1 cannon. In the meantime, Dinci was able to find a few munchers and pick him off. But I guess Almanov is trying to get an engagement, because he'll definitely win here. I'm not sure why Dinci is fighting here, because we can clearly see that angry munchers are just going to melt away his army. But I guess every muncher that Almanov loses is pretty much like 2 cavaliers of Dinci, because Dinci can pretty much replenish his army faster, because he has more bases and more production, or barracks pretty much. And even without archer support, he was able to somewhat, I guess, beat up the army of Almanov here. And this potentially could be a GG. But I guess Dinci's not really making any swordsmen, or any cannons. Or I guess now he's going to be making some cannons here to maybe start assaulting the base of Almanov. It's just a pure cavalier army is not going to be as effective. And I guess it would better to just support your cavaliers with any kind of unit. Cannons or archers or swordsmen. We can see Dinci got every base on his side of a map, which means he's gonna have way more resources to just spam out all the farms here. It's gonna make his farmers more efficient and allow him to transfer his workers to get more resources, because not as much farmers are gonna need to farm. And I guess maybe think he's trying to bait out Almanov's army again. And to potentially bring him here, of course, where I think he's going to have an advantage by just shooting him with these archers. I guess we can see that I might have had a worse trade here. He lost maybe around 9 or 10 munchers, and I think he only lost maybe 4 cavaliers here, so it's very terrible because every muncher lost here is gonna be very painful to remake compared to Dinci losing just a few cavaliers. Now I guess Dinci tried to kill his cannons here. They potentially maybe saw these munchers here. But I guess now he commits. And I guess he's pretty much just trying to tire out Almanov. I get a level 3 muncher here. It's gonna make Almanov's army is not as effective. But I guess all these archers were finally killed by the cannon spam. But I guess Almanov didn't pay attention. Now he's gonna pay with it with his cannons. He's auto sad. Because it was just a small and simple mistake. Just clicking to move here when could have stayed with his munchers. And here I guess Almanov had enough. Eventually trying to just attack Dinci. But as we can see here, Dinci expected him to rush through here. He made a lot of defenses here that are very good at fighting any army that's going to pass here. But I guess Almanov decides to run through here to potentially run into a base to maybe kill some workers. I'm not really sure what this is supposed to accomplish. Because if he loses all his munchers here, then Dinci's just gonna get even more XP. And it's just gonna be, I guess, game over. But Dinci already has probably around 5 level 3 Cavaliers, which are pretty much unkillable. You just need a lot of firepower to even kill one. And I guess Dinci wasn't really paying attention. He forgot to get the bow ability to make his workers fight a bit better. Or I guess he even just didn't leave any units here to defend his bases here. So I guess a little sloppy, but still effective at just spamming out a lot of units and just, I guess, overwhelming his enemy and his enemy's attention, pretty much. But I guess he lost a few farmers here. And only now I think he realized, tried to get some food. So that his Cavaliers could actually be more effective on the map. Then it's already been 10 minutes after I mentioned that Almanov only has one base, and he's still on one base. Now I would think he would potentially make another base by now, but I guess maybe a player that doesn't use his resources as fast. And I guess he forgot that he has empty farms here. So he could have potentially used those farms as well. Now pretty much this is a whole army of level 1 launchers, which are just gonna melt away when they're gonna meet this big army of Dinci, which is very high leveled. Because at least 5 Cavaliers are level 3, and pretty much most of the other ones are level 2. And then a direct engagement, level 2 Cavaliers are just gonna beat level 1 launchers. And this is a random barracks here. Not really sure what this is supposed to do. And I guess Dinci is just taking his time, because he has a very big advantage, because he potentially scouted that Almanov doesn't really have any more bases. But I guess he's just waiting to make a few more cannons so he can assault the base of Almanov. Even though we can see here that he doesn't really have that many archers here. So you don't really need that many cannons, maybe 3. Or if you don't like cannons, you can just make a group of swordsmen. And they're gonna do a good job at just taking care of these few archers here. I guess it looks like Dinci's finally going on a field to try and potentially finish the game. Or maybe destroy the army of Almanov here. It's moving out his cannons. Zara Cavaliers. It's maybe 2 control groups of Cavaliers, maybe 2.5. That's maybe like 40 or 50 Cavaliers here. This looks like maybe around 20 or 30 munchers here, so it's not looking great for Almanov. Even that he was able to kill these cannons. I think he's just gonna finish the game by just fighting him with cavaliers alone. And here we can see that Dinci just has too many levels on his units, and they're pretty much just unstoppable now. I guess Almanov pretty much surrenders, I guess, because he lost his whole army, and at this point Dinci can just walk in here and it's just a win. But I guess they're just taking their time. I'm not really sure. I think he's just playing SimCity here. Just making random buildings here that don't really serve much purpose here, but I guess he's just trying to squeeze all the victory power. Anyways, Almanov Cess has been defeated by Dinci by just pure micro, I guess. Microing his units not as effectively as Dinci, and I guess not just expanding at all compared to Dinci expanding at least to 4 bases. Anyways, that's the end of the live gameplay. If you liked the video, you can leave a like, you can comment. If you want to see more videos on the Scouring demo, you can subscribe. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.